You had the Lakers and the Utah Jazz, man. This one was easy money for the Lakers. Basically, a wire-to-wire victory, 131-199. Lakers leading by as much as 39 points in this one. This one was a no contest. LeBron and AD got the night off a little early in the second half. You had Anthony Davis finish with 26 points in 29 minutes on 11 of 14 shooting from the field, 16 boards and 4 dimes, 2 steals as well. AD continuing to play at a high level. LeBron James a chill at night, 17 points, 9 assists, 7 boards. So LeBron 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5 from downtown. And you got D'Lo, 20 points, 8 assists for D'Lo. You had 4 Lakers in double figures off the bench. But they did lose Cam Reddish, man. They did lose Cam Reddish to a groin injury. But overall, Lakers win and win their group in the NBA in-season tournament. So the skids are in. The fix is in, as usual for the Lakers. to get LeBron to Vegas, they've got it. He probably arguably played in the worst group in the in-season tournament. You had Utah, Portland, and Phoenix in that group.
Don't forget Memphis.
And Memphis in that group. And so there it is. The fix is in to get LeBron to Vegas to hoist up the NBA Cup in the city where he will host his future team. Fix is in.
The fix is in, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. Austin Reeves off the bench has been a revelation. He's been playing a lot better off the bench. Cam Reddish, unfortunately, with that injury, but it did give some minutes to Christie, who played really good last night.
Well. Yeah,
he played really well. And just from the minutes that counted to the garbage minutes, the Lakers look great, and I think they're trending in the right direction.
They're starting to click. They're starting to get it all together. I mean, the efficiency out of LeBron James, D'Angelo Russell, and Anthony Davis last night was absurd. I mean, Utah missing Kessler Walker, and he's just like going out there and just there's no one to protect the paint. You have Lauri Markkanen out there and Kelly Olynyk, not the two guys you necessarily want to be your rim protectors.
Yeah.
But there was just an open runway for the Lakers just to get into the paint and just attack. And Anthony Davis made sure to feast last night. And look, you talk about the Lakers having an early night. Utah had an early night. They didn't put any of their stars back in. We only had Lauri playing 22 minutes, Clarkson playing 24, like Keontae George played 21 minutes. There wasn't many guys who were getting over 30 minutes in this game just because it was lost by essentially the third quarter for this team.
That's a great point, Al, because we've seen in the bubble, like when you don't have enough rim protection, like AD and LeBron are just going to punish you.
Easy.
And like if there's teams out there that don't have that rim protection, they're going to have big problems in the playoffs versus the Lakers if their 2 best players are healthy.
Yeah, easily. And now it's 3 straight losses for the Utah Jazz, 131-99. Lakers with 76 points in the paint last night. I mean, there you go. There's your answer for rim protection. 76 points in the paint for the Lakers last night. Jazz need their guy back. They need their big man back, and they need a spark. Last year seemed like the Jazz around this time of year, they were tough. They were tough outs every night. They were a big story. They ripped off a lot of wins. They were in that hunt in the West, early hunt, and then ultimately fell off. But this year they're having a tough go, man. 4-10 out the gates. They lost their big man, who was a revelation, but they just don't seem to have that same spark that they had last year. Markkanen's still doing his thing. He's still playing well, but overall they just don't have that same lift that they had last year. Clarkson 7 points in that loss last night. That's a typical Clarkson type of outing. He'll give you 4 games like 30 plus and then come back with a single digit game. And John Collins 15 points with John Collins, and nothing really there. Nothing really there for the Jazz. Losers of 3 straight games.
Do you guys think that it's because the West has gotten better? I mean, look, not having Walker Kessler is a big loss for this Utah Jazz team because he was a fine last season, as you noted, CP. But the West has also gotten better. Like, let's keep it real. So is that also something that we should take into account why they're struggling? Because OKC was a team that you can go out there and they could compete with. Now that's not true. So maybe that's something we should take in consideration for the Utah Jazz. And they're also like in that weird rebuilding phase, right? They get rid of Donovan Mitchell. Rudy Gobert, and everybody else. And now they're starting from ground zero. And I'm sure they were really rooting to get into the Wemby sweepstakes, although that took a sharp left turn last season. But I still think they're looking for that next guy outside of Lauri Markkanen that they can pair with him to take it to the next level.
For sure.
So you guys think they're in tank mode, or are they like, what are they doing right now? Are they going to call it a season? Because last season, that's kind of what their plan was, and it didn't work out that way. So I figured maybe this year they're going to try and continue on that to try and maybe be good. But I don't know, man. Like, it feels like it's just going to go to tank mode at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll just be naturally just by not having enough talent on the roster. I mean, they did try to add some depth to the front court with the addition of John Collins. They did insert Keontae George as a starting point guard, so it's going to take him a while to really get to that level of comfortability where he's able to run that offense. And so I think this could be it's still a competitive rebuild, I think is what Ainge is trying to pull here, because he went out, he got a guy like a Collins, but now you're inserting a rookie into the lineup. You don't have much talent there. They have a ton of draft picks and cap space at their disposal. So we'll have to see what they come up with. But I think they're a team that could get back into the swing of things real quickly, especially when you have Markkanen, who you could use as one of your pillars on that team. You have Kessler, who you can use as one of your pillars. Maybe it's George who's next, and then you kind of form the team that way. So you look at their losses. I mean, they lost to Phoenix 3 times already. They lost to Phoenix 3 times. They lost to the Lakers. They lost to Denver. They lost to Minnesota. You know, just going back to Alex's question about the West, like they lost to Sacramento to start the season. So, I mean, their losses.
That's a tough gauntlet to go through to start.
It's a tough gauntlet. They at Minnesota. They lost it, at Lakers. They lost to Phoenix 3 times already. They lost in Denver. So the schedule has been pretty tough on them.
And to Al's point, I mean, Houston's good. As he said, OKC is good. Like, how many bad teams are there in the West? Not many.
Like, really, who they're keeping, and like the only other bad team out there is the Clippers, but they got 4 superstars on that team, so they're going to get into the mix at some point. Yep. But looking at the bad teams in the West, it's Utah, Memphis, the Spurs, and the Blazers. And so if the Jazz want to compete for tanking, Andrew, it's the Blazers and the Spurs right now that they have to look at, like, are we going to be as bad as them? Because Portland, you know, they got Brogdon, they got Ayton, but they're still a young team at where it really matters. And it's really hard to have them play at a consistent basis. Same thing with the San Antonio Spurs. They're so young. Like they're going to be nights like where they shock the Suns. And then there's going to be nights where it's like, this is a very young team.
That's experimentation. That team, that's like a big experiment.
Oh yeah. Pop is like, look, man, we're not doing anything this year. We're just trying to develop Wemby. Hey, if Sohan decides to become this point guard that we want him to be, then
exactly
good for us. And then you got Memphis, who without Ja that's rough.
Man.
Like, if you're Desmond Bane right now, you're the only guy, you're the guy out there right now. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, he just overachieved in his NBA career. Like, it's amazing that he could average like, you know, that many points. Nobody thought he could do it, but I know he's frustrated at this point. He has to be, even though he's getting a lot of shots up.
Yeah.